everybody, it's Tipster Tuesday. Welcome to the Live Naturally system, Live Naturally tools. Every Tuesday we have a fun Tipster Tuesday where one of us, myself, Jenna Cross, Michelle Cannon, we go live and share with you tips, tricks, and strategies for your business. So today we're going to talk about tips for booking classes because it's a really common issue and something that people often ask us to cover or to share about, and we're always trying to think of how to continually improve our tools and your skills so that your doTERRA business thrives. Now, the thing about classes is, for me, classes are still fundamentally the secret sauce to doTERRA. I know many people build online and do so phenomenally. I also know that building online is 10 times harder than building face-to-face, okay? There's so much more work involved in that. I know that people are successful with all types of class models and things like that, and I love that. There's nothing in me that you'll ever hear say that there's only one right way to build. However, the relationship, the face-to-face relationship that you build in a one-on-one or a class helps to nurture the longevity of your relationships with your customers. It really helps with the LRP process. It really helps with your retention rate. And so we never want to diminish the value of teaching in person or teaching online. Either way, education is going to be key, and we want you to be able to not only educate well, but then to be able to book classes from those classes so that your networking and your leads and your calendar never runs out. We want you to be able to continue to book over and over and over again so that you're never without a class. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because a lot of times when you get started, you book some classes because you have a bunch of warm leads and people host and things are going well for you, and that's great. But then other times, if you don't know how to book from those classes, that tends to dry up. It tends to dry up like a reservoir, and you're like, what happened? Like, where's the water? We need a constant pouring in of these classes and these leads and these opportunities so that our calendar never runs out. The thing is, when you're doing a business, you take your business seriously, and you don't do your business 1 month and then like not do your business the next month. Like that's a really bad business plan, okay? To stay in business, you need to do your business on a regular basis. You need to have so many goals that you hit or meet each month, and typically to really do this business and to be successful and to grow forward, you need at least 4 classes a month, which honestly is nothing, because I have friends in other direct selling companies, and they aim for like 10 to 12 parties a month. Okay, so 4, no big deal. One-on-ones, classes, seriously not a big deal at all. Of course, you can do many more than that, but we want to encourage you, like if you're really serious about this business, you should never have less than 4. Okay. Now, we have a new tool available for you, and I want to share this with you first. Okay, this is our Live Naturally downloadable calendar. You can find this on our website right now, okay, on under downloads on livenaturallytools.com. It's beautiful, and you could fill line, so you can click and fill, or you can print it out right in the month of May and fill in your numbers. Now, the reason I show you this is because this is my favorite way to book classes when I'm in a class. So what I'll do is, after I've educated everybody, and they're kind of picking out what they want to purchase, and I've closed, we've done videos on that before, so I'm not going to get into that. But once I've done that, I'm going to say, one thing that I would love is to see who else would love to share oils with other people. Because I know you guys are already thinking about, friends and family and people that need to hear about oils and need to learn. And this potentially could be something that could change their lives. I would love to have the opportunity to teach them. I'm going to pass around my calendar. I want you to pick the day that works best for you to teach, and go ahead and pencil your name in there and the time that you would like to for me to teach this class. Go ahead and mark that down. And then everyone who books a class with me tonight gets whatever. And I'll often give them something like a little teeny bundle of glassware or a little bundle of samples like shampoo, Deep Blue, toothpaste, that type of thing. I have something little to give them, like right there on the spot. Making up the upcycle labels that we have using your 15 milliliter bottles with a spray top. If you book a class tonight, you can pick any one of these special sprays out of my basket. That's another great tip, okay? So I pass this around. Now, the thing is, this is my class calendar, okay? If I pass it around completely empty, they're going to think I have no life, no leads, and my business kind of stinks, okay? So I don't want it to be completely empty, even if it's the first class of the month and I really don't have much going on. I want it to say something, okay? So I'll put in other things that have to do with doTERRA. For example, maybe I know that Michelle has a class on Thursday. Okay, and I know I don't want to teach another class on Thursday. You know, Thursday might be my no class night, so I'll write Michelle's class on Thursday, so that they're like, oh, she's got a class with Michelle. She's okay. This is great, you know. And I might write doTERRA regional product training on one of the days because that's where I'm going to go this month. So I might have a couple of things on the calendar that I want to look busy enough, but I don't want to look overly busy. Okay. I don't want to have my calendar completely full and somebody says, I would never do this business because this girl doesn't breathe. Okay. So there's a difference there. And you don't want anything personal on here either. Like you don't need to have like your doctor's appointment on there or your daughter's ballet recital. Okay. This is just for people in classes. Now I always circle the dates that I want to teach as well. So I don't just pass a completely open calendar out to them and then they're going to schedule stuff and I'm like, oh, actually, no, that date doesn't work for me or I never teach on Wednesdays or whatever. So I'm going to circle probably like 6 options and pass that around when I do it so that they're guided immediately to check and see if one of these 6 options will work for them and then they book. Now, if nothing works for them, and they're like, I really want to host a class, but these dates are terrible. I'll be like, okay, I could be flexible. I try not to overbook myself, but what date would work for you? And then they'll say, you know, like Saturday morning would be ideal. And you have to decide, do you want to teach a class on a Saturday morning or not? You know? And normally when I was first building my business, especially, I said yes to everything. Okay, I said yes to everything because I really wanted the opportunity to educate people and to grow our business. And so if my other Saturdays weren't too full and stuff, I would say, you know what, I'll make an exception. I'll totally come and do your class on a Saturday. And that host feels really special. They feel cared for. They know I'm making a bit of a sacrifice for them, and they usually show up really strong. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have them book. I'm going to be like, okay, you know, you booked, whatever. You know, everyone gets your free gift. And sometimes those who didn't book necessarily will go and be like, actually, can I look at that calendar one more time? I'd like to probably book a class. So typically, like now we're heading into the last part of May. So typically what I would do, my May should be set. Your May should be set pretty well already. But I would pass a June calendar around now for the rest of my May classes. Okay, so I'm booking up my classes in June. Let's get you on the calendar. It's an awesome time to prepare for summer wellness and camping and all the things. Like this would be a great time. Book a class, let's go, and let them book. Okay, so this works really well. And usually within a class, you can book like about 2 to 3 other classes. So think of how that is going to generate and grow momentum in your business. It's going to be really helpful. So I love the calendar. You can download it. You can fill it in. It's perfect. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. And then after I'm done going live, I go back through and check them. But if I answer your questions while I'm live, I'll get so sidetracked and then it'll be very disjointed. So go ahead and ask them, and then you can count on me to come back in later today and I'll answer them for you, okay? Or you can answer each other's questions. Now, another good option to get classes booked or to get new leads, especially one-on-ones, is our drawing card pad, okay? Now, you can use this at a class. I have actually veered away from using this at class, and I actually just keep this with me all the time. This is in my bag. It's in my bag in a nice little pocket so it doesn't get like gunked up and granola bars get stuck to it. And you know, if you have kids, you know your purse is like the abyss. But I keep it with me, and then anytime a conversation comes up with somebody where I'm like, they're like, you smell so good, you know, or what are you wearing, or, you know, they'll ask questions, or I'll notice that they're sick, or however the conversation comes up, I'll say, you know what, I would love for you to enter a drawing that I have. I do a drawing every week for a free essential oil. And if you want to enter my drawing, I think you would love it. So go ahead and fill this out. Then you get all their information, you know, and they might fill out the bottom part like they're interested in classes and different things. But they fill it out, and you would say, what's the best way to contact you if you win? Do you want me to text you or call you? And so they'll mark that. And you're like, this is so great. I'll let you know if you win. And then what happens with this card is everyone that I've met that week, which is usually only like 3 to 10 people, you know, new people, everyone that I met wins, okay? And again, I will do like the little 5 ml wild oranges from Class in a Box, or I might do like Breathe touch rollers. Those are very cost effective. Something like that would be their gift, but the Class in the Box little wild oranges are probably the most cost effective thing. And so you'll call them and say, you know what, you won a wild orange. How can we meet to get this to you? I'd love to be able to explain how to use essential oils and just give you the basics. You don't have to say, I'm going to come teach you a class. You don't have to say, I set up a one-on-one. You just say, we got to meet. I want to give you your prize. I'll teach you the basics so you know how to use it and get the most out of it. You know, when can we schedule coffee, or when can we, you know, meet at Panera or whatever, okay? So keep these with you all the time. Now, if you want to incorporate them in your classes instead, you can do that as well. I have just found that it tends for me to add too much time onto my class. I'm trying to keep my classes as short as possible, and the calendar seems to just go by much quicker for me, okay? So drawing cards are another option. You get 50 to a pad too, so these last you quite a long time, and it's gonna make you want to use them, all right? So that's another one. Another option to book classes is to offer a free class. I heard my friend Lindsay Knapp do this recently. We were out to dinner, and she's a diamond leader, and we were just sitting there chatting, and she had we all have like this restaurant we go to more often than not in town, so we have established relationships with servers and different things. They start to know us by name and things, which is just a tip to be nice to the people in your community, okay? Because they're going to know you as the essential oil educator, and you want them to have warm feelings about you. You want them to think, well, she tips really nice. She's always super polite and gracious. Like, your interaction with people always matters, okay? So we're just chatting, and the server likes essential oils, and I think it was really hot in the restaurant, so we gave him some peppermint. It was like we were all sweating. The air conditioning hadn't like gotten plugged in yet, or I don't know what. But anyway, she said, hey, I would love to bless you with an essential oil class. I would love to teach a class for you totally free. You and your friends, let's get them together and I'll do it for you. And the server was like, really? Yeah. Is it okay to do it in my house? Like, he was just like offering up everything to her because she approached it as like, I have something I want to like bless you with, and it's totally free. And the truth is, you know, we do teach in people's homes totally free, but he doesn't know that. And what it did was help just build that relationship and help her to say, like, I've got something good to give you, and I'm going to offer it to you because I like you, and my time is really, and that's the truth. All that is so true. And so I'll have to check in with her and see how that class got set up and everything. But it was a really great lead-in, and it wasn't at all like she was like, do you think you could gather 5 friends and have a class for me? I really need more classes this month. You know, there was nothing desperate about it. It was like, let me offer you something awesome, and I'll do it totally like on my dime, you know? Super cool. Okay, another option for your classes is to have public classes. Have regularly scheduled public classes. Okay, so this goes back to our drawing cards. Even is when you meet someone who thinks you smell good, or you offer a breathe drop to or something, you can get their information, and you can also say, you know what I have public classes once a month, and it's a time for you to come and just learn about essential oils. They're totally free. You can bring people. My space is limited. Maybe you have space for like 20 people, so just let me know if you're going to come. I'll make sure I save you a seat. But I'd love to have you come. And that is one of the ways that helped us build our business the most, was to have public classes instead of constantly looking into trying to find hosts sometimes that would pan out or not pan out. What I could count on, I could absolutely count on the fact that I was going to host a class, that I had a class, I had something going on, and I could invite people to it. And usually we did an intro class every single month, and then often, maybe you do twice a month. So you have an intro class, and then I have Oils Now What class, or an intro class and then a specialty class. Like maybe this month would be women's health, next month men's health, next month summer survival, next month back to school. Like you can theme it that way, but you always want to have a class where you can invite people to, because if you meet people, and you can either book a one-on-one with them, which is awesome, but you could also just invite them to a class, which is going to maximize your time. So it's up to you, but those are some things that if you don't have a set class on your calendar, then you're going to come up short. And once you meet people, you might network like a boss. You're not going to know what to do with them or how to plug them in. Now, a public class could be at your house. You could host a class in your home. You'd be like, you know what I do every month? I have a class in my home. Maybe you have space for that. I would just encourage you to make sure, if you're inviting strangers into your home, that like your spouse is also there, or for sure that you're going to have a guest, like a best friend or neighbor, somebody also there, that you're not completely alone. And just inviting strangers into your home, I don't know, is always the best idea, because there's always that one-off chance that the one guy from the vendor fair comes and he's the only person. You know what I mean? So just play that really safe. The last thing I want to mention to you as we wrap up is that our Thrive coaching is about to be posted again. Give us about a week. We've been just really reworking the way that it is delivered to you, the website server that we have for it, and different things. But Thrive Coaching, in that we have 6 Essential Oil 2.0 classes, and within that we teach you how to teach that class, so how to teach that topic, and a PowerPoint that goes with it. And those topic classes, they can serve you really well for these continuing education classes. They can serve you well for these public class options that you have. Or I don't know if you guys know Annette Jukes. She's a presidential diamond in Indianapolis area. But one thing that she told me she does, and I thought was really smart, I don't even know if she still does this, but she'll do a class tour every month. And so like this month, maybe what she learns is women's health and hormones. That's a class she works on, which is one of our topics in Thrive as well. She really works on it and she learns it, and then she offers it up, and she'll say to like her whole like community and all of her warm leads, in May, I'm teaching women's health and hormones. Who wants to book a women's health and hormones class? And that's like the class that she teaches everywhere that she goes, so that people will rehost next month, because next month will be men's health, or next month will be, essential oils for the summer. Who wants to book that class? And so she kind of themes, or used to, I don't know if she still does, she'll have to correct me, but themes a class a month. And then what that does for her, she learns one class and repeats it over and over again all month, and you get really good at your essential oil knowledge. You get really good at teaching a specialty class. You get really good at your product information and things like that. So it really is a way for you to skill up as an oiler and as an educator, and then you're repeating the same thing, which gets easier and easier. So whenever I learn a new class that's like not really in my skill set, I love to teach it as many times as possible, so that eventually it just feels like, man, this is part of who I am now. It's part of my repertoire and not something new that I'm kind of fumbling with. And then you could teach it online too. You could offer an online live class as well. So you're teaching it all over the place. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope that you feel a little bit better about booking classes from classes. What I would encourage you to do is go to livenaturallytools.com. fill in the calendar, download it, get yourself a clipboard, and try it at your next class. Try booking it this way. Try passing around that calendar with about, 5 or 6 circled dates that are options for you. Try, coming up with a nice little teeny gift that you would give a host. Now, don't give them something big, because if for some reason that class fails or has to get rescheduled or anything, you don't really want to have given them like a diffuser, you know what I mean? Or even coconut oil. Like, you don't want to give them things like that. You want to give them something small so that, if they take your $2 wild orange and then the class fails, it's really no sweat. It's really no skin off your back, and you don't have to have like resentment, because that kind of energy is not okay. You don't want to feel that way. Just let it go. But if you gave something big, there would just be so much more grounds to feel that way towards a host that committed and then backed out. So that's why I say do a really small, like upcycle oil, that type of thing. Anything like that is good, but you don't want to give them something big that later you're going to like be mad at them about. Okay. Because we never know how those classes are going to pan out. We might have, 3 people, might be amazing. Might have 10, it might be a no-show, might turn into a one-on-one. It doesn't matter. Those outcomes don't matter. Okay. The chance to educate people and the chance to change someone's life, that's everything. So every time you go into an opportunity to teach, think, I have the opportunity right now to potentially share something that could change the entire course of somebody's life. It could change their entire future. It could change how they feel. It could change how they show up for their kids. It could change how they show up for their friends and their job and their spouse. It could change the amount of discomfort they're in on a daily basis. Like, what we have is so good. And if you show up with that kind of energy for your classes and people feel that way, you're there, you'll have no problem booking classes, because they're going to want to be around you more, and they're going to want you to change other people's lives too, just like theirs has been in that moment. Okay. Hope that helps you guys. Keep teaching. Don't ever stop teaching about essential oils. These products are incredible. This company is incredible. We got the best thing going on. Okay. We got the best gig on the planet. Love you guys. Happy Tipster Tuesday. See you next week.